Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Yeah. Hello. Everybody there? Am I here? I think so. Either way, this is another episode of Coffee and Contemplation, which is definitely your most least consistent Old Heart Radio podcast. Shout outs to all the other people holding it down, including Lucas at Matinee Edition, Fitzy over at Whack Arnold's Brothers, as well as the UFR boys. Jesus, we have a lot going on. And, hey, shouts to the unspoken heroes, like Jeremiah, doing brainstorming sessions, keeping me sane in the meantime. On top of it all, dear people, I give you this episode of Coffee and Contemplation, where we talk about which, if you read the title, then you probably have some semblance of an idea of what I'm going to talk about, even though, as I'm recording, I do not. Who knows? Maybe this is just a catch-up episode. Maybe I'm just taking the time to catch up on my mind. It is 7:09 p.m. I am drinking a cup of coffee, a fine cup of coffee, if I may say so myself. Brewed it up in an AeroPress, and it's delicious. It's hitting the spot, and I'm definitely feeling a little bit of that caffeine buzz. Zip. I'm going. Which kind of brings me, to one of the thoughts I want to talk about. It's the coffee industry, man. It's something I've been working in for over a decade, honestly. And I don't know if that makes me sound cool or like a fucking waste of my time. But either way, it's what I've been doing with my life. I have a really strong passion for coffee because it's a really great, unifier, right? So many people enjoy this product, this coffee. So many people rely on this product, this coffee. And I'm not just talking about to get their caffeine fix. I'm talking about for their income fix. And we're not, that goes from baristas to cafe managers to people in the production of coffee. The coffee roasters, the people that deliver the coffee to the grocery store shelves, or the people that import coffee, the fucking coffee farmers and the growers on the fucking front lines doing hard labor for a pittance of what they fucking should make. And coffee, all in the meantime, is this it supports this huge system of people, and it is the second highest traded commodity on the planet. And somehow the supply chain is just more fucked, like a lot of things. It's fucked more than it's been in a really long time. However, it's always been kind of fucked. The coffee trade and the coffee industry exists. I mean, if you really want to go back, it exists because off the backs of forced labor. In modern times, it relies on, underpaying the people that produce the coffee. When somebody complains about paying for, say, a $15 bag of coffee, they have no idea what it takes to get that bag of coffee on that store shelf. You know what I mean? Some people think that coffee is grown in the United States. Some people think that fucking French roast is from France. Some people think Italian roast is made from Italian beans that are grown in Italy. That's fucking dumb. Alright, that's a fucking lie. Coffee comes from mostly poor countries. It comes from countries that are most likely considered third world by people that live in the United States. I will say that. And the farmers and the people that produce the coffee, the coffee bean, the people that pick the cherries off of the trees, the people that cultivate these trees till they're ripe, they spend so much time and so much labor, and all for the hopes that these beans will turn out, that the cherry will produce a good bean, a quality enough bean that some really overtly rich company in the Americas or Europe will send somebody down to buy a lot of, and that's how they hopefully make their fucking, I know from experience that there are seriously some family run, for 50 plus years, family run coffee growing operations that they really rely on their one annual crop. And if that annual crop has a lot of defects and doesn't get picked up, and they have to sell it at a much lower rate than they already sell it for, then they are fucked. And then you turn around, and when you're selling coffee beans to people, shout outs to all you coffee farmers out there. Thank you so much for providing me with this delicious slurp. Shouts to all you hot dogs. Thank you for listening so much. You guys are fucking amazing and impressive. I can't believe it. So they like I was saying, they literally some family farms rely on their one yearly crop cycle, and if that crop cycle fails, then they are stretched thin financially for the rest of their fucking year. And families that have families that have more than 2 fucking members are going to be screwed in that situation. You know what I mean? At least if you have 2-member family, maybe not. Maybe you can just turn to cannibalism. You start eating each other until the next crop comes in, and hopefully make some fucking money off of that. But the reality is that that coffee farmers are poor a lot of times, and that they cannot meet the demands that people in countries like ours, in countries like the U.S., they can't meet the demands that people, these bougie ass fucking coffee drinkers, place on them. People want on their little coffee label that they want to be notified that this coffee was fair trade, or it was grown and it was shade grown, or it has a proper organic label. And the bugaboo of all that is that shit costs farmers way more money than they should have to put it. It costs farmers way more money to get those certifications, to get things like fair trade certifications, and to get things like the organic certifications in particular. That there's some, and again, I know this from a first-hand story, there are some farms that have to choose between things like kids' school money and buying and paying for a certificate for the year. You know what I mean? And so they choose, and I've seen this happen in store. Coffees that are the exact same coffee go from being labeled shade grown to having no shade grown label on them because they can't afford to pay for the fucking certification. And it's the exact same coffee grown the exact same way. And then you have some fucking asshole walk in and go, "Oh, is this not shade grown? Oh, what a bummer." And then they go buy a different fucking bag of beans. It's I'm not saying that as a consumer you shouldn't get what you want, but you should be mindful of what it fucking takes to do these things, to do these extra mileage things that produce the exact same product. You know what I mean? That's what bugs the fuck out of me about it, is that you're making people you're making people who are already poor pay for certifications that don't matter to them, that impact the way that coffee roasters and cafes sell the coffee. And I get that definitely trickles back down theoretically, but it really doesn't that much. Coffee companies are only now, and this side of 2015 are really pushing to try to make the supply chain a little more equal. You know what I mean? And that's a huge thing. It doesn't happen instantaneously. It barely happens gradually. But you have companies that are pioneering programs where they, they front the money for a crop, for instance. This is something that I think there's a lot of companies that are trying to get off the ground with programs. But I can safely say that I know of a company that has been doing a program like that for 30 plus years. They've worked with a family-run coffee farm, and that they've worked with them for long enough that they feel secure in fronting the family the money, so the family can then invest that money over the course of the year in growing their crop and not just hoping to recoup it. You know what I mean? Which is a thin fucking line. It's like living paycheck to paycheck, but on even bigger stakes. You know? And like, trust me, I know a little bit about living paycheck to paycheck. It fucking sucks. But if you have one paycheck a year that you hopefully fucking get, and then it craps out at like a third of what you normally make, then you're fucked royally. And that ain't cool, particularly for a fucking product, like I said, that so many people ingest and enjoy across the world every single day, you know? And then you think about this. You have to think about like the long term of coffee as well. Like not only should we be supporting farmers to help renovate their already aging operations to adapt for future challenges, including climate change related challenges, which are happening more and more rapidly in the coffee industry, in coffee farming, but it's devastating, and you're going to see that it's going to be even harder to get coffee. And prices are going to get even higher for people. And then people who ignorantly don't understand it, dick all about the supply chain, are going to complain about paying what was $15 is now $15.50, and what was $15.50 is now $16.50, and so on and so forth. And the fact of the matter is, like, we should all consider this cup of coffee a lucky fucking thing in each of our lives. It's not a necessity, it's a fucking luxury. And we should enjoy the fact that we have it. We should support the systems that produce it so that across the globe, we all have a better, more sustainable system of how to keep this going. Because I guarantee you, in 50 fucking years, coffee is going to be a real luxury, people. It's not going to be around as massively as it is now. That being said, I've ranted enough for this episode. Go out there and use your brain for good. Why? Because every day's a good day to ripen up your coconut. And, keep your stick on the ice.